So, you're thinking about Kenya, right? Planning a safari? You're probably picturing those epic scenes, lions silhouetted against a fiery sunset, vast, wide-open savannas stretching as far as the eye can see. And yeah, Kenya has all of that. It's absolutely mind-blowing, but hold on a second, before you click book on that flight to Nairobi, there are a few crucial, must-know things that I seriously wish someone had sat me down and told me before my first trip. Things that could save you a ton of cash and a whole lot of guesswork. Let's get into it. Nairobi is the city in the entire world that has a full-blown national park, with wild animals roaming free, right inside its city limits. Nairobi National Park, you can be in the hustle and bustle of downtown, and then, literally, 15 maybe 20 minutes later, you're in a safari vehicle, windows down, scanning the plains for lions. For around 40, maybe 50 US dollars, you can do a half-day game drive. We're talking lions, giraffes, zebras, buffalo, and if you're lucky, the critically endangered black rhino. All of this, with the actual skyline of Nairobi visible in the background. It's the most surreal, incredible juxtaposition. You don't need to book expensive internal flights right away. You don't need to commit to multi-day, super pricey lodge packages just to get your first taste of Kenyan wildlife. It's accessible, it's affordable, and it's right there. So, when you're planning, don't just dismiss Nairobi as a transit hub. It's where the adventure begins, immediately and affordably. Okay, so you've done Nairobi National Park, your mind is blown, and now you're ready for more. You want to hit up the big leagues, maybe Amboseli, Masai Mara, Tsavo, and you're thinking, here comes the part where my bank account starts to cry. But hold up, it doesn't have to be that way. The biggest myth about safaris is that they to be outrageously expensive. My number one tip: skip the fancy, exclusive lodges. Look for shared group tours. There are tons of hostels, local travel agencies, and guest houses in Nairobi that organize these. They pool a small group of people together, usually in a Land Cruiser or a safari van, and off you go. Prices start around $100, maybe $150 per person per day. That often includes transport, park entry fees, game drives with a guide, and basic accommodation and meals. Bring your own snacks and a big reusable water bottle. Stock up in a supermarket in Nairobi before you head out. A portable power bank for your phone and camera, non-negotiable. And don't forget binoculars. Chapter 3. Alright, let's talk about one of my favorite parts of traveling anywhere, the food. And in Nairobi, man, you are in for a treat, especially if you're on a budget. You can eat incredibly well, experience authentic Kenyan flavors, and spend next to nothing. Forget those overpriced tourist trap restaurants. We're going local, and we're going delicious. For breakfast, try mandazi Kenyan donuts and a cup of chai. For lunch, look for local canteens or kibandas. A classic, super filling, and incredibly cheap option is chapati and beans. Now for the main event, nyama choma grilled meat. The experience of eating nyama choma is as much a part of it as the food itself. It's social, lively, and incredibly affordable. Eating local is one of the best ways to connect with a place. And in Nairobi, it's also incredibly kind to your wallet. Chapter 4. So you're out there having epic adventures, seeing incredible wildlife, eating amazing food, but where are you going to lay your head at night without spending all your precious safari money? My go-to for budget accommodation in many cities, and Nairobi is no exception, is hostels. The hostel scene in Nairobi has some real gems. Places like Wildebeest, Eco Camp, or Manyatta Backpackers. These places often start at around $10 to $15 a night for a dorm bed. Hostels are amazing for meeting people, sharing tips, and even finding buddies to join you on a safari or a day trip. If dorms aren't your thing, many hostels also offer private rooms at a higher, but still very reasonable price. Or consider looking into homestays or Airbnb rooms in residential neighborhoods like Kilimani or Karen. The key is to do your research. Read reviews on sites like Hostelworld or Booking.com. Nairobi makes it easy to make that choice. Chapter 5. Alright, let's talk logistics. Getting around Nairobi, and super importantly, staying safe. Navigating a new big city can feel a bit overwhelming at first, especially one as dynamic as Nairobi. But honestly, with a few key tips, it's totally manageable and surprisingly affordable. For getting around, especially if you're new to the city, my top recommendation is to use ride-hailing apps like Uber or Bolt. They are widely available in Nairobi, super cheap, and generally much safer and more straightforward than trying to negotiate with regular taxis or figuring out the matatu system right off the bat. Now about those matatus, they are the lifeblood of Nairobi's public transport, brightly colored, often blasting music and packed with people. They are an experience in themselves and incredibly cheap, but for a first-timer they can be a bit chaotic to navigate. If you're adventurous and have some local guidance, give it a shot for shorter distances, but for longer trips or when you've got luggage, stick to Uber or Bolt until you get your bearings. Next up, staying connected. Getting a local SIM card in Kenya is incredibly easy and super cheap. Safaricom is the biggest provider, but Airtel is good too. A SIM card itself might cost you like $1, and then data bundles are very affordable. For a few bucks you can get enough data to last you a week or more. Language-wise, you're generally in good shape. Kenya has 2 official languages, Swahili and English. English is widely spoken, especially in Nairobi and in tourist areas. People in Kenya are incredibly friendly and welcoming.